How's everyone doing? I have another random bag of movies, Blu-rays and DVDs, a gigantic bag in this one. Looks like there's got to be at least like 30 movies in here. So if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them and what is your favorites from this bag right here in this ShopRite bag full of movies. I've mentioned on here before, this is like, I don't know how many videos I've done like this before, but my mom is selling her place. She lives down the road from me, and she's basically trying to clear all my stuff out, and she's occasionally dropping stuff off over here. And there's a whole bunch of movies I had stored over there during like one of the times that I moved. I just stored a bunch of stuff over there, and she's just dropping it off. I haven't had a chance to go over there. I've been crazy busy with work and everything, but I am going to go over there soon and try to clear everything out before she sells the place. And it's always interesting to see what movies I have over there, what ones I've forgot about, essentially. It's mostly DVDs that I have over there still, but I know I have some Blu-ray box sets and special editions and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and get into this. Yeah, some of these I haven't seen in like, years as far as collection-wise. And some of them I haven't seen, period, as far as actually watching the movie. First off, let's get into the Blu-rays. First up is Who Framed Roger Rabbit right here, a classic film with Robert Zemeckis. Love the heck out of this one. I don't remember this. I think it had a slipcover. I know there was like a steelbook over, I think, in the UK for it. I'm happy with the regular Blu-ray release for it because I think I didn't really like it's basically the same design for that. I want something a little bit different, but a ton of special features on here. Right there, and I actually still have, I think, the DVD because it was like a really cool, like kind of digipack design in there. But if this has a slipcover, I definitely want to find it. If anybody wants to do a trade or something for the slipcover, let me know. But I love the heck out of this one, just a classic one right here. Christopher Lloyd was awesome in this. Bob Haskins too, but very enjoyable. Probably one of the ones that I watched the most growing up as a kid. Although it had some darker moments in there, but love this film. Jessica Rabbit. Come on now. It's like my first animated crush. Red Lights, which I have, I saw this when it first came out, and I didn't love it. It had good atmosphere, and I do like Cillian Murphy. Is it Cillian Murphy or Cillian Murphy? I'm not sure, but he blew up after 28 Days Later. And I think they're going to make a 28 Months Later. I like 28 Weeks Later, but it was a little bit too derivative. 28 Days Later is by far the better of the two, and definitely one of the better horror movies of modern times. But Sigourney Weaver, Elizabeth Olsen, Toby Jones, Robert De Niro also on here, so a really good cast. But basically, they're trying to, Sigourney Weaver and Cillian Murphy, forgive me. They're trying to disprove all these people who claim to be magicians, psychics, paranormal people. Really nice gatefold slipcover right there. I thought, like I said, I thought it had a good atmosphere, but I wanted a little bit more from all that build-up. I'm going to rewatch it, though, because I've heard a lot of people praise it, so sometimes I enjoy movies after a subsequent revisit. Like Chasing Amy was a movie that I used to hate, and now I love it. Even Session 9, when I first watched it, I wasn't impressed, and so many people pressured me to, check it out again, and finally I did. Now I love that one, too, which I need to pick that up on Blu-ray. But there you go, Red Lights, looking forward to revisiting it. Maid of Honor. I'm not that big into the rom-com genre, but I did really enjoy this one. And it's funny to me because Patrick Dempsey, he always played like 80s dork kind of roles. And now he's on Grey's Anatomy, that's what it was. I think his character got killed off. I never watched any of the episodes of it, but he was like what they call him, McDreamy, I think was the nickname. But yeah, this one he was like the best friend of the bride, but he always had a crush on her. I just remember it being really heartwarming and endearing, and I think they go to Scotland, is that where it is, that they go off to for the wedding? But hijinks ensue, and it's formulaic, but it works. It's satisfying. Next up is Bridesmaids, which I don't necessarily love this movie, and it blows me away that Melissa McCarthy was nominated for an Oscar for her performance here. Same year Jonah Hill was nominated too, Best Supporting Actor and Actress, respectively, but I can't believe either one of those were nominated. Both of them didn't deserve to be, especially Melissa McCarthy, who I can't stand. I am not a fan of hers at all. It was okay. It was way overhyped for me. I don't know, I feel like they tried to make it like a female Hangover kind of thing. not quite the same, but just the different things that they were doing, like pushing the envelope with certain aspects of it. I don't know. I like a lot of the supporting cast better than like the leads here, but it's okay. It's one of those ones that I keep in my collection. Like Step Brothers. I hate Step Brothers. I think it's terrible outside of the boats and hose scene. But every girl I know loves it. It's always one of those ones to put on, like a good date kind of, you know, Netflix and chill kind of thing. Just put it on for you to enjoy a little bit of it for them, and you know. But you know, it's just one of those movies that I'm keeping in the collection because I think most girls enjoy this one. I know dudes enjoy it too, but it's just one of those things that I know they always seem to enjoy. So there you go. Maybe I'll appreciate it. I've seen it a couple times. I don't think I'm going to appreciate it anymore. I'm just keeping it for that reason solely, which I don't know. Maybe I will. I do like the puppy dogs. There's a couple scenes here and there, and I like the lead actor in here too in his role. I thought that was really good. And what's her name? She was Byrne. What is it? Rose Byrne? Is that who it is? I like her a lot. I like Maya Rudolph. Yeah, Rose Byrne is really good, and a few of the other supporting cast people. But Lockout is the next one, and I'm so annoyed. Sometimes slipcovers, I don't know, the adhesive or whatever comes off. This was like this when I first got it, so kind of annoying. But I need to, I don't know, get some kind of crazy glue or something to glue that back on. But I really enjoy this one. From what I can remember, there's like a prison on the moon. Is that what it was? It felt like Die Hard on the moon. That's what I remember it being like. It's, I think it was written by, yeah, Luc Besson. I think he wrote this one. I think that's what it was. Yeah, he presents it too, so I guess he's a producer, but it has Guy Pearce in here, and Guy Pearce, I think he's kind of an underrated actor. He's been in so many incredible movies, incredible performances, but I don't think he quite gets the, like, just dues that he deserves, but really enjoy this one. Good action movie. I haven't seen Escape. I know people, I think some people have compared the two, but I need to see Escape, and I think they're making a sequel to that one. I don't know if they're going to make a sequel to this one too, but I would like to see a sequel for it. Oops. And it's falling out of the slipcover. I definitely need to get some kind of adhesive for that. Next up are all the DVDs, and there's a friggin' ton of them. Let's start taking some of these stacks out here. First up is, get that out of the way, Fangoria Presents Germ Z. A while ago, I got a bunch of these Fangoria ones from my friend on here. G, what's going on, man, if you're watching this video? I think he got them at this Blockbuster when they were closing down. So that was pretty cool. I've seen a few of them. There's one that everybody loved, and I remember not enjoying it. I like the lead actress in it. It was kind of, it wasn't Axe. Axe is another one, but it's like very similar to that, where this guy was accused of like killing people, and he was like a boss, and he brings all the employees back, and it's kind of going crazy. I thought it was formulaic, predictable who the killer was, and I like the ending to it, and I like the lead actress, but I thought as a movie as a whole, I thought it was overrated. Some people were raving about it, but people were saying that was the best of the Fangoria ones. I still haven't seen this one, and there's a few other ones that I haven't seen, but I've seen most of the other ones. So this looks like a typical Infected kind of movie. Infected is different than zombies. I always say that all the time. 28 days later, infected. They even say it in the movie, they're infected by the rage of virus. It's a virus. Next up is Redneck Comedy Tour, or Roundup number 2. And it's funny because somebody actually just posted on Facebook, this girl that I know, about Larry the Cable Guy, how his name isn't Larry, he's not a cable guy, he, I don't know, grew up in like a rich area or something like that. I don't remember all the different things, but it was just kind of funny about that. But Bobcat Goldthwait's on here. He's actually a really good director. And let's see who else is on here. Jerry Springer's in here. That's interesting. But I like some of these guys. I don't like a lot of them, but some of them are entertaining. I've always liked Jeff Foxworthy. I remember when I was a little kid listening to him. So that's cool. I have never checked that one out. Next up is Michael Moore in Sicko, which I haven't seen. I like Bowling for Columbine. I don't like a lot of what... Yeah, sometimes it just comes off kind of like a blowhard, but some of the stuff I do think is important for what he does. Some of it, not so much. But I haven't seen this one. And next up is Uprising, which is a... I haven't seen this in forever, but it was a really good cast in here, really moving World War II movie. Tremor, yeah, Donald Sutherland, John Voight, David Schwimmer, Hank Azaria, Lily Sobieski, Carrie Ells, like so many amazing casts in this one. I remember this being just very emotionally charged and gripping. Yeah, can't wait to revisit that one. That's awesome. I don't think this has a Blu-ray release. I need to double check though on that. But I like the old digipack design for it. Next up is Spider, a David Cronenberg film, which I have not seen. Let me know what your favorite David Cronenberg movie is. This one has Ralph Fiennes, Gabriel Byrne. Yeah, so I guess he's like a mental patient, and I guess he's trying to remember things. Sounds interesting and looks creepy. I don't know if that has a Blu-ray release or not yet either. Next up is the History Channel's Ape to Man. I remember my ex, I was engaged once upon a time, and my ex-fiance, she bought me a bunch of stuff for, I don't know if it was birthday, Christmas, whatever the thing was, but she bought this for me. I think we watched together, in fact, and I remember being really good, kind of just going over the progression of the species, essentially, but I never opened it and rewatched it since then. Maybe I should though, bring back some memories. But yeah, maybe I'll do a video about that. Somebody asked me about that one time. That time that I was engaged. That's what I'll probably title or something like that. But that was a while ago, and it's some of these things have like kind of emotional attachment, kind of like memories and stuff to them. So Billy the Kid. This is a 20 movie pack thing. Whole bunch of old. This is a Mill Creek one. Whole bunch of old. Billy the Kid movies. There's so I never realized how many movies involved Billy the Kid. So pretty cool. Next up, get these stacks out of here, is The War at Home. I remember I think this is the first season. I think it was only one season before it got canceled, but I remember it being really good. Michael Rappaport was the lead here. I think he's really funny, really entertaining. He did a kind of a sports documentary recently too, with the Knicks, and I always remember him from Higher Learning. He's been in so many movies, but Higher Learning, I don't think that has a Blu-ray release either. That needs one. So many movies that have Blu-ray releases, but there's so many ones that still need them. But I remember this, he was the father and just kind of dealing with the kids and stuff like that. But I remember being very entertaining, and I felt like it deserved a full run. As well as this next one right here, Black Donnelly's, the complete series, which I don't know if there's like 1 or 2 seasons, but it's 13 episodes and on a 3-disc set here about a group of kids right here, and they're all Irish, and they're dealing with like Irish gangs in New York City and stuff like that. Organized crime and family, and a lot of recognizable young actors in here, right there, including I can't remember her name, but she's been I always get her confused with the Transformers chick and her. I get them always mixed up, but I like her better. But yeah, I remember this being really good. I definitely recommend the heck out of it. That was another one that I felt deserved a longer run. Bowling for Columbine, I was just talking about this one with Michael Moore, but I thought this one was really good. Interesting, especially I think it's still relevant today. I don't agree with everything that he says, but I did like this one. I thought it was... some of the stuff is very kind of mind-boggling to me, and I like how some of it I feel like is a little shocky, where he confronts certain people, and I don't know. But obviously, it makes for good entertainment and that kind of stuff too. ECW Heatwave 98 Extreme Championship Wrestling. I remember them back in the day, ECW. They had a lot of wrestlers who went into, WCW, WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it. But I was really big into wrestling when I was growing up, especially WCW. But this one had, ECW back in those days had, Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, Dudley Boys, Bam Bam Bigelow, Taz, Rob Van Dam, whole bunch of really good, crazy fight. Like, these fights felt more real to me, the ECW ones. It felt more brutal, raw. It just looked like they were, like, obviously there's injuries that are real, but it just looked more brutal to me. More kind of dirty and raw, and I definitely liked it. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's so crazy to see some of these movies that I haven't seen in, like, years. And I'm curious to see what I have left over there. Next up is The Elephant in the Living Room. I thought this was a really good documentary about people who have, like, pets, like lions and tigers and stuff like that. So this was a really good documentary that I would recommend. And it was, some of the stuff was just crazy to see the people, having these animals like that. Next up is, this is an audiobook. This audiobook is so old that it's actually on cassette tapes. James Axler's Deathlands. I think it was like kind of Mad Max-esque. Desert Mirage, Uncharted Depths, post-apocalyptic, yeah. So, yeah, there you go. 2 cassette tapes on there. I don't think I have a cassette player currently, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. But put that off to the side. And let's get to the last bundle of this. This is a somewhat long video. Thank you for staying with me. If you've stayed with me this long, let me know. Leave me a comment that you're still watching this. Eep. I've made so many crazy faces dropping stuff. That was definitely a crazy one for sure. Next up is The Littles. Now I know there. Here Comes the Littles. I'm not sure if this is like how many episodes are on here, but I know the reason that I kept this one because they had like a complete series of The Littles, but it didn't include like one. I don't know if it's like a pilot or something like that this one had on it. So yeah, this is, I don't know if this is like a couple episodes or what it was, but there was one thing on here that they didn't have in the complete series release. I remember getting this at Kmart like for like $5 forever ago. Next up is Angel of Death with Zoe Bell, kicking butt. Awesome. It's funny because I remember when the Grindhouse came out, everybody was loving Planet Terror, and I loved it as well. And then Death Proof, it kind of got crapped on. But now over the years, I've really enjoyed Death Proof. And Zoe Bell she's been in the industry for a while doing like stunts and stuff. So it's great to see her getting, you know, lead roles and like this. I haven't checked this one out, but I'm looking forward to it. Looks like she's just going to be kicking butt, and I'm down for that. She's a Aussie badass right there. Next up is Bloodsport. This is the snapper case. I think the Blu-ray release here is like a double feature thing, and I think the transfer wasn't good either. I remember there's some reason why I didn't upgrade this. But there we go. One of the better Jean-Claude Van Damme movies in my opinion. And it's crazy to me the ECW DVD, Rob Van Dam, because they're not actually related, but how much he actually does look like him. I always thought that was interesting. Next up is, and I think he actually has a Amazon Prime TV show. It's not Jean-Claude Van Damme, it's like Jean-Claude Van something else. But that looks interesting. I think he's one of the better action stars. I definitely prefer him over Steven Seagal. Yeah, what was that crazy one that was a Time Cop, the one where he did that splits, and they did like all these commercials now with him doing like splits on like 2 different like trucks. Crazy stuff, but makes for, again, entertainment, funny commercials and stuff like that. SNL 25 years of laughs. So this is like, I guess, just a mixture of all kinds of special, some of the funniest ones, tons of special guests and stuff on here. So that's pretty cool. Oh, is it just 1 disc? I thought it was 2 discs, but that's cool. I'm curious to see what ones they chose on here. And this is, you know, this is from 1999, this release. So back in the day, this is one of the earlier, looks like, it's a little over 2 hours, so it's 2 hours and 40 minutes, looks like, so 160 minutes. Yeah, it's funny, because I first started, the first DVD I bought, first 2 I remember I bought were Last of the Mohicans and then Goodfellas. And I think those were like $35 a pop, and I want to say it was like 1999 or 2000 that I bought them. And I was like, I'm balling, got these movies. And now, you know, it's so funny how it all happens. I think 4K, I think it's doing so well as far as, you know, sales, but the prices have dropped dramatically, and that's really surprising to me. It's making it more accessible, and they're making more sales because of it. But it's still surprising that it was so quick. For DVD, it took a long time for those prices to drop. Even Blu-ray took a fair amount of time. I digress though. This is why I usually do a lot of editing in my videos. I'm not going to do any editing in this one. I'm just going to let it go because I go off on tangents. Sometimes I'll talk about directors, actors, different things they've been in, and yeah, that can go on for a long time. But The Wood, which I always remember being a really good kind of I guess it's the 3 of them. One of them is getting married, and it kind of flashes back to how they all became friends. And I don't think this has a Blu-ray release either, and I think it deserves a Blu-ray release. But I like the cast chemistry here. Omar Epps, I remember he's in First Time Felon. I love that movie. Such an underrated movie. That one deserves a Blu-ray release. Jersey Drive deserves a Blu-ray release. Strap does. If you like those kind of like urban coming of age, like what's the Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, those kind of ones, you'll enjoy that. That's not like this though, although it touches upon it a little bit. The one girl, her brother was a gang member, and there's run-ins with his character in this one. But yeah, Taye Diggs is in here too. But and then there's Richard T. Jones, which is like, I guess, the lesser known of the trio right there. But again, great cast chemistry, and really enjoy the heck out of this one. Looking forward to revisiting it. Next up is Tool, Toology. Classic right there. I remember some of the music videos for Tool when I was a kid just blew me away. Super creepy and still memorable to this day. And absolutely love Tool as a band. This one has, it has a whole bunch of different never before seen material and stuff like that. Next up is Red Heat. I know this does have a Blu-ray release. You know, this is one I'm surprised it doesn't have some kind of like upgrade, because I remember there's like one of the earlier Blu-ray ones, and I don't think the transfer was supposed to be that good, but some good special features in here. I remember getting this. I think my dad might have given this to me. I think I saw it at Kmart. He's like, "Oh, I'll buy it for you." I think he might have given it to me as like a gift later for Christmas or birthday or something like that. I think it was like one of those $5 bargain bin titles. But I always enjoyed the back and forth between Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Belushi. There's a few other recognizable people in here, but I remember this one being really good and entertaining. Next up is Titan AE, which I have not seen. The animation style looks pretty interesting though, and I like these sci-fi animation titles. Next up is Bait, which I've seen this one, but it's been a long time. I really like Jamie Foxx. I think he's one of those actors that can do action and comedy. I really like Will Smith as well. I feel like he can do a lot of that too. Has a great range. But Jamie Foxx, very talented, and looking forward to revisiting this one. It has David Morse in here too. A few other people. Mike Epps is in here, which I'm not that big of a fan of Mike Epps. But it's an Antoine Fuqua film. Action-packed from what I can remember, some good thrills and suspense. Next up is Thumbsucker. This was like a really popular indie one back in the day. I can't remember what year this was, but I want to say like maybe early 2000s, or maybe I could be completely 2005. I think it says on here, yeah. But it has Tilda Swinton, Vincent D'Onofrio. Vincent D'Onofrio, just such an amazing actor. Keanu Reeves, Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn getting tons of love now. He was in Cell Block 99. But I really liked him in Hacksaw Ridge, and even Into the Wild. But a lot of people were saying, Cell Block 99 was his best performance. I think they're kind of downplaying how good he is in the comedic roles. I feel like people are kind of downplaying comedic performances, which he's excellent in those movies. It takes a lot of creativity to do those kind of comedy roles. So I think Vince Vaughn does have some range as well, and he's kind of showcasing it now on these past few films that he's done, especially Cell Block 99, where he was very foreboding. But he's done a couple darker things back in the day too. But yeah, this one I've heard great things. I don't think I ever watched it. I think I picked it up at Blockbuster when they were closing for like $1 or $2. So I'll finally be able to watch that because it's been over there for ages. But there you go. This went in for, again, I think there was, I can't remember how many titles, I wasn't keeping track, but it looked like there's about 30. So let me know if you've seen these movies, what you think of them. Let me know what was your favorite from this bag of mystery that I haven't seen most of them in, a few years. It's definitely been over a couple of years now. So let me know, leave me comments or video response down below, and hope everybody's doing well. Take care.